A review of her collection of poems, Haiku for Me. But Living Earth Gives Me Joy, a review of Haiku for Me by Professor J. Lokuna. An unusual offering from the writing space in Nagaland, a collection of haiku is a welcome departure from other forms of poetic publications. The haiku is 17th century Japan's offering to the world of literature as a terse reaction to elaborate poetic traditions. It acquired the name in the 19th century, and this unrhymed poetic form consists of 17 syllables structured across 3 lines, following a pattern of 5, 7, and 5 syllables. Haiku for Me is a deeply moving collection of verse that transports readers to a world of quiet reflection through subtle demonstrations of beauty. Overriding themes of nature and human indifference in her exploitation pebble the pages of haiku, whilst celebrating the indomitable feminine spirit and strength in earth-birth, earth-taught art. The book is divided into 3 sections, including the blues in haiku, comprising 29 pieces, Haiku for Chunky Potters, comprising 13 from an earlier publication, project of NEZCC, and finally Lament for the Hills, with 15 haikus that carry a predominant tone of pathos. The contemplative locus of the first section, evident in the title, permeates through with moments of hope that at times come across like interruptions, but also signal better things to come. The indolence yet heavy solitude that night affords in the first haiku is counterbalanced by the approaching hint of dawn, symbolizing light, renewal, and new possibilities. Turning to natural metaphor, big, bold dahlias are personified, and their natural habitat of sunny climes are exploited to a description that likens them to people in their ostentatious Sunday best, putting on airs, amplifying a concern with appearance or moral superiority. The reader may ask what this outer grandeur masks. It could be a subtle reference to outward reality, while questions of inner reality remain. In the third haiku, she asserts, I exist. Similes grounded in everyday images and comforts like Purani jeans and laundry support ideas of familiarity and scarred authenticity of life, with moons purged by gossip floating around town, careless of the veracity of the rumors in the 6th haiku. Yet, it is in the silence and coldness of the unspoken, words left unsaid in the 7th haiku that hurts in slow motion in contrast to the celebratory reception to idle talk. With the 8th haiku, the mood shifts again. Longomer's censure of society and its key players is evident through the frontal attack that we see. The clowns have all left. The balloons fly far away. Debris everywhere. The significance of clowns, tomfoolery, and performance is not lost with many actors, possibly leaders, on the big stage, leaving behind only debris as their legacy. We also have other references such as loud prayers aplenty, hearts super glued shut. This is perhaps one of the most telling tropes of the Naga society. That is the man that wields a Bible, a much abused figure, no doubt, but there seems to be cause for the criticism. The Pharisaical image is hard to miss when another category of actors play the outward part outwardly, their insincerity unequivocally highlighted. The loudness of their outward expressions of holiness is juxtaposed with the silent, closed-off emotions within. This is significant because there is a sense of vulnerability in the portrayal of insecurity, grief, and anger, like molten lava, as she asserts in the 20th haiku. Her metaphors capture the depth of human emotion, searing, volatile, yet deeply buried, that have the potential to erupt and shape the human psyche. And yet, the verse sings praise of the simple: picnics, friendship, music, singing, and a glass or two of wine to boot, as perhaps life's panaceas, as perhaps the panaceas to life's triumphs. The eponymous Blue Hill is evoked with memory of public night travels that surged, particularly in the 1980s, and many of friendships forged under the cover of darkness. The haikus speak in snippets of the brevity of life and human memory that emphasize the ephemeral nature of existence. Nevertheless, moving on to the blues in haiku, it's far from a mere dialogue of pain. It is filled with ever-present rays of hopes in human persistence and the zeal to heal and endure. Each new year brings with it the promise of kindness. Each poem is accompanied by a short reflection which adds layers of insight without detracting from the reader's right to their own interpretation. The second section is an ode to the iconic legacy of chunky women potters, the progenitors of pot making among the Aos. The flame of matriarchs passed along successive generations is celebrated starting with the first haiku. The practicality of the art in a community entrenched in oral tradition is a matter of palpable joy. Living earth trapped between the practical actions employed by skilled hands. With the wrinkled hands working, flawless, grace in motion, mud flies everywhere. Pot making is no ordinary art, requiring an intricate balance of skill, strength, and patient determination.
Her late mother, Professor Temsala Au, whom I've also had the good fortune of knowing needs no introduction. Her contributions to literature remain timeless and cherished. It is hardly surprising then that her daughter is a writer herself. But one thing that stood out for me is that both their writings are distinctly different. And I would like to acknowledge the author's distinct voice, her own unique narrative, and the undeniable brilliance of her craft. I first met the author 5 years ago when she formally released one of our titles called Wild Sunflowers in November 2019, marking our 26th publication. 5 years since, I would like to think that Pen Trio has made remarkable progress in terms of scaling up our publications that has now exceeded over 100 titles. Since my encounter with the author in 2019, we have had the opportunity to meet again on several occasions. She was one of the speakers for 2 past editions of Nagaland Literature Festival, organized by the Kohima Writers Collective, which I am also part of. Ever since I met the author, it was clear that her passion for literature was steadfast, her perspective fresh, and her talent undeniable. Over the years, as I followed her journey, I saw the depth of her storytelling unfold. Naga Notes not only explores heritage and introspection, but also carries a rare gem, Naga humor. This is a kind of humor that will instantly resonate with Nagas as subtle wit embedded in lived experiences. Yet for outsiders, it offers a delightful glimpse into the nuances of Naga culture, an introduction to a world of humor that is both surprising and deeply amusing. Her other book, Haiku for Me, showcases Jung Mayangla's versatility as a writer. In just a few carefully chosen words, her haiku distills emotion, thought, and experience into poetic precision. To move from cultural reflections to the brevity of haiku is no mean feat. It is a testament to her range as a storyteller, capable of weaving both expansive narratives and delicate poetic moments with equal finesse.
This book launch is happening only because you gave the opportunity to a wannabe writer, and I thank you so much. I was also thanking my friend Cindy the other day for all her help, and I was telling her about the story, about her dragging me to Jeffrey Adam's house, etc. And she was like, "Oh my God, I was so obnoxious or what?" So I was telling her, "Hey, Cindy, because of your obnoxiousness, I am here today, and I'm going to launch 2 books. So we all need friends like Cindy, and I'm so blessed to have her." I would also like to thank my cousin Atamunu Mona Lisa Chamija for giving me space in Nagaland page. Some of the short stories and articles in Naga Notes were also published in that daily. After I got my job in Nagaland University, I couldn't write much because of so many reasons, but at the back of my mind, I always wanted to, publish my works in book form. Anyway, I got a chance to send my manuscripts to Zuban, but the lady there, she sent it back with a very kind note and told me that she enjoyed reading it and she had a good laugh also, but she wanted me to weave all the articles into a story and make it into a novel. I thought about it for 5 seconds and then I shelved it. Too much hard work. So, and even the haiku book that I wrote took many years to be refined. Although the section haiku for the pot was published in 2010 in my book Pottery, The Earth's Stories, which was a project from NEZCC. I would like to quote from the Bible here, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. "For everything there is a season and a time for every activity under heaven." God knows what is best for me, and I believe that by opening this door for me, after all these years, God is preparing me for my retirement, which will be very soon. And so now at least I have a plan. So I can now write books, and which Rita will publish, right? So God has always been steadfast and has cheered me through all the ups and downs of life, and I have survived and thrived. Also, the timing is perfect for this book launch, because with social media, my works will hopefully get more exposure and traction, and I am relying on all the young people here, you know who you are, to exploit that area and help me sell the books. Okay? I acknowledge with gratitude my friend Malini for conducting this program so seamlessly and so warmly. Thank you, Nino, for invoking God's blessings so beautifully. My sincere gratitude goes to Dr. Manghala for the wonderful foreword she wrote for the haiku book and also for the Naga Notes for today. When I requested her, Dr. Maung, to write the foreword, she said yes without any hesitation and wrote such an in-depth and thorough foreword. I am so awed and humbled. Sampularo. I also express my profound gratitude to Mary Penny Zeres for writing such a touching review for Naga Notes, which is on Insta. We became friends through the Mekha Wednesday movement, and we haven't met as yet. But she's such a good friend that she wrote this review for me. And I'm so grateful. Thank you, my talented son and friend Atul Nashiko, for the awesome special number. You pulled out the mic also. It was so good. It was really uplifting and delightful. Thank you. And of course, a big thank you goes to my publisher, Rita Krocha, the calm, soft-spoken, unflappable, kind, rock steady, but always the indomitable Iron Lady. No words, other words do justice to describe her. May you flourish 1,000-fold in God's grace and His abundant blessings. Once again, a big thank you goes to Mr. Jeffrey Yardon for consenting to launch the books. A very big thank you goes to my sister-in-law, Miss Angla, of the Do Re Mi fames, of the Do Re Mi Bakes fame. I'm so lucky to have you backing me up always. Thank you and God bless you. Special thanks also go to my co-sister-in-law, Ayam Yala, for always being the #1 supporter and the go-to person. Yeah, no. My aunt from my dad's side, Unimwa, is here. My dad's youngest brother, Abbas Nup, is there, and his wife, Auntie Miran. Okurako is also there. So can you give a big round of applause for all my elders? I'm so blessed to have them. My biggest support and blessings was always my mom. How I wish she was here today. But I know that she's looking down and maybe making some caustic remarks about certain things that I have not been mindful about. So but I know that she will be so happy for me. I'm indebted to my husband Amin for always being the strongest pillar of support and encouragement. Thanks also go to my children, my beloved siblings, my wonderful cousins and all my nephews and nieces. Today I stand here humbled and grateful for God's abundant blessings. I acknowledge with utmost appreciation and happiness every one of you who is present here for making this cherished book launch of mine such a happy and wildly successful occasion. Your presence here and your support has touched me beyond measure, and I will always remain grateful to all of you. Thank you and God bless us all. Thank you so much.
When I first met her, I was quite impressed. She was very clear in her approach, very frank, very honest. And there was one thing that she was at that period of time when we were all caught up in the turbulent period. There was nothing that we talked about those days. And there were two words that came up from her writing. I don't know where that article that is. The two words that she could extract from all that was reported in the newspapers and whatever media was the word in Nagaland called the situation. People will call up from far away, ask me, Mr. Yadan, how is the situation? So that is the situation. Even in in Dimapur or anywhere where you go, people only talk about the situation. So it was quite a difficult period. And like the book reviewers have said, camouflaging a lot of those details, and you will have to have a literary, sort of talent to be able to, expose what Ayana really wrote about. But she very well managed to put it in a way that was like a cartoon, serious but funny. So she has done a very wonderful job, and I'm sure many of the readers who used to follow her are missing her, but she's still not missing action. She will be, like I said, writing a book. I hope a few of those can be published in the media, because after all, she's also one of those who has impacted a lot of people. And I also want to especially say that even her late mother was a well-known literary writer, a poet. I used to meet her quite often in the NEZCC. I was also a member. And she always had a few of the books, the poems she writes, and she used to give. And so once I told Ayana, why did you ask your mother to write? But that was something, not a very good suggestion. Because the daughter's already writing, how can But anyway, they come from a very well-known, I remember her late father, Asam Mate, we were in Kohima. He was editor of Uramen. They organized the first event at Naga Police Mess, where we had those days junior statesmen. It was supposed to be quite a hit with the Northeast group. Junior statesmen about music, about this and that. So we had a gathering there, and I think late Lily Harris was there. She was also working in Uramen. So late Asam Mate also was a well-known person. He was also the first editor of Uramen, if I'm not mistaken. I think he worked in Citizen's Voice also, if I'm not mistaken. So you can trace her all this back to her parents. They are all renowned people. Even her brother is no less renowned. John, he is, although retired, he and his wife are running a very successful venture. John earned his name in Chhattisgarh, fighting the Naxals, and I believe Nagaland earned a good name there. So it's a wonderful privilege for me. In fact, I feel so honored. In fact, I feel not adequate enough to be here. But I thank God, and I thank God for the life of Ayan, and I also wish her well, and hope that she will be churning out more and more books, bring out more and more entertainment, laughter, and continue to inspire the young people. So with this, I launched this book. It's already launched, and I wish her all the success in future years to come. And may her retirement never be a retirement. A writer never retires. So with this, I end my speech. Thank you.
She's collecting all your books.
Hey, I have more of the book. That one. Gift on the
Gift of He is also here. Asyik ulam nanti.